I just returned from my social media fast, and the first thing I see is this rifle here. And I was really excited about it because this is the new Franklin Armory rifle that has a short barrel and a stock, as you can see, and it's not an SBR. The ATF could not classify it as such. And then the very next post I saw was the ATF changed their mind, and they're now classifying it as an SBR. So they go from, it's not an SBR, it's an SBR, it's not an SBR, snip, snap, back and forth, and they cannot make up their mind. And this is causing people to now become felons because they bought the Antithesis thinking that this was not an SBR. They didn't have to do the paperwork for it, and now they're being required to send them back, return them, and probably have to go through all the proper paperwork, pay the tax stamp, and all these things because the ATF wanted to switch and change up their mind last second once again. So let's talk about it here in this video. So you may have seen this already. I might be a little late to the party because I was taking a fast from social media, which I cannot recommend enough. It was incredible, and I almost didn't even want to come back, but here we are, saw this, I was really excited about it, and then the ATF switched it up. So what the Antithesis is a rifle that has a short barrel and a stock, but it has multiple caliber options, kind of like with a revolver that does a .410 and a .45 Colt. It can't be classified as an SBS or a short-barreled shotgun because it has multiple different calibers it uses, so it kind of is a gray area in there and a way to kind of sneak that in there. And Franklin Armory created this gun, and kudos to them because they kind of stumped the ATF, and they ended up getting this passed as not an SBR. Posted it all over the place, sold them, and then immediately after they sold a bunch of these things, the ATF now comes back and says, oh, whoa, that's now an SBR. Which is absolutely crazy because these people that bought this legally thinking this was not an SBR, not only is it like, well, you just have to return the gun because that's bad, you're a felon now. You have possession of an illegal SBR per the silly rules by the ATF, the ever-changing rules of the ATF. And yes, I get fired up about this because this is a ridiculous ability that the ATF somehow has, and they shouldn't have. They're not even legally allowed to create these things and change these rules and should be held in contempt of court. And the fact that this was ruled by the ATF, not an SBR, because I promise you that Franklin Armory had to fight for this to even get it to the point they were able to sell it this way. And then for them to immediately change their mind and cause people to have this issue and now financially strain Franklin Armory, along with cause people to have to return these guns and go through that process, is absolutely ridiculous to me that there's no consequences for the ATF in this sense. Now, apparently, if you have a certain version of this, you're okay and you don't have to return it, but if you have the 5.56 variant is the one that they are returning back and making them have to reclassify in some way. And I'm gonna post a picture here of the actual letter that Franklin Armory released to people, and I can only imagine the frustration on their part of being able to go through the fight in the legal battle to get this firearm where it is now, to then have to have the ATF switch on them and make all these customers have to do this. It has to be incredibly frustrating for Franklin Armory, and I don't want anyone to get mad at them that this happened, because good on Franklin Armory for going out there and fighting these fights. These fights need to be done. These battles need to be had for further laws to change and the ability to fight this stuff in court. And I'm really hoping to see them continue the battle on this, not fold, because this is a lot of pressure. That's gonna cost them probably a lot of money because they are the ones that have to pay for all these guns to get returned. And who knows what they're gonna have to do with all the stock now that they have, because they probably sold out pretty quickly. So good on Franklin Armory. Make sure you guys are showing them some love, and make sure you guys are contacting your representatives and letting them know your frustrations in a very calm, understanding way. Make sure you are thinking logically about your responses with this, and make sure you let them know that this isn't right. This is absolutely wrong. It's unconstitutional, should not be done. You know, it's one step that we won in the fact that you don't have to pay the tax stamp anymore here at the beginning of the year, and that's exciting, but it's still not where it needs to be, and we need to continue to fight that fight. So do not let off the gas, and I'm so happy to see that Franklin Armory is not, and they're continuing to fight that fight, even though I'm sure it is a lot more stressful than what we're seeing. You know, we're just seeing like, oh man, that's crazy, they changed their mind. But Franklin Armory is a business that has people that are employed there, and their jobs and their lives require all this stuff to go right, and they're having a financial strain because of this. So thank you to Franklin Armory and the things that they're doing. I hope they continue that fight, and I really hope to see a video here later I post and say it's back to not an SBR anymore. But you know, it's so hard to see and say what in the world the ATF's doing, and I don't legally understand how they can tell Franklin Armory, yeah, you can sell this. Because Franklin Armory could not have been legally allowed to sell this unless the ATF was like, yes, you're good. And then immediately after they sell them, to then say, Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, no, not anymore. That's crazy to me and very frustrating. I hope you guys are as fired up as I am about this because it's serious. It's very serious. The ATF stuff always gets me riled up and frustrated, as most of you probably understand. I actually just did a podcast with the GOA. I'm really excited about that. That should be coming out here soon. Make sure you guys stay tuned and keep an eye out for that. Went down to Myrtle Beach and filmed that. Took the family down and everything. It was a really good time and hung out with the guys down there. People that are incredibly helpful for what we do here and supporting the channel is CRKT Knives. This is one of the new ones that I just got from them that is super sweet. This is the Provoke. Just got in another one as well that is unreleased. I can't show you guys that quite yet, but I'll be showing that off here soon. But just a really cool, unique setup that I think is a lot of fun. Kind of like a butterfly knife, just really cool to, you know, manipulate and use. But pretty cool stuff. Appreciate them so much. Make sure you guys check them out. Show them some love. Other than that, if you guys are looking up about the channel, the things I do here, there's a lot of ways to do that down in the description. Go to my website, tacticalhazard.net. There's some cool things there that will be helpful for you guys. And I could just play with this all day. I think this is incredibly entertaining. But check that out. And Howitzer Clothing, they donate 5% proceeds to charity, and they've donated over $2 million. And we have a Tactical Advisor shirt, which is even cooler. And if you use code TA15, that's going to save you 15% on all of Howitzer's clothing, and they have some great ones. So I need to put this thing down. I'm going to constantly look around with it. But I would love for you guys to check them out. I always like to end my videos on a Bible verse. So I'm currently studying Kings. This is 1 Kings 3:9. Give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil. And this is Solomon speaking to God and requesting wisdom. You know, and there's a lot of things he could have requested, like riches and a long life and a bunch of other things he could have requested, but he asked for wisdom to be able to lead his people, and that's really cool. And it's something that we need to take into account. And when we're asking God for things, you know, we need to ask for patience, we need to ask for strength and wisdom as well. You know, money and these other things that can get in the way and distract us are not important. The most important thing that we do is right here in this Bible, the Word. I would love to be able to help you guys with that. If you ever have any questions, please ask me. I would love to give you some references and things to be able to help you as well. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.